I welcome everybody to the Classic Clash, getting into the final stages of the Lower South West footy season. 3 games to go between Bridgetown, the home side, up against the Manjimup Tigers, looking to get themselves into the finals. They sit there comfortably at the moment inside the top 4 with 3 games to go. A pretty important game for both teams, in my opinion. They could meet up the way Kojonup are going, undefeated on top of the ladder. If they can get through the first semi, the Manjimup Tigers, they could meet this team, Bridgetown, once again. So, important week for Bridgetown. Come up against the undefeated Kojonup last week after playing the week before and going down by 12 points. Went down last week by 20 goals. So, as they say, a week's a long time in footy, but it's a big difference. Kojonup at home are a different side, and they shouldn't feel too bad. Bridgetown, they sit second on the ladder under Coach Price. But last week was a real wake-up call for them. So let's see how they rebound today. And for Tigers, well, if they can get over the line here, they've all but secured their spot in the finals for the first time for a few years. And we'll look to travel to Kojonup and play possibly Imperials, or Dean Mill would have to win every game and hope for either Tigers or Imperials to fall down. They do play each other towards the end of the season. So teams just about to get into position. And before we get underway, just like to thank our sponsors, especially Premium Grains, for all your grain needs. See Premium Grains, but also Great Southern Fuels, Agfree, Delta Ag, Kimberley Accommodation Group, UDF Trailers, Corrigin Hotel, Wild Gravel, Alum Lube, Dartfish, Archie's, Omnibus, Classic Clashes, Gallagher, Premium Grains, as we mentioned, and Manjimup Gateway Hotel and Pemberton Hotel. Go down and see the big fella. He resides mainly at Pemberton now, the big fella, Paul Chookie Fowler. And as we mention every time we give him a spill, he can get a nice meal, a cold beer, a fair bit of advice, whether you want it or not. But he's done a terrific job with both of those establishments. As players get into position, Tigers will be kicking towards the Manjimup end, or the southern end. For those people that know Bridgetown Oval, Bridgetown kick to the north end or the scoreboard end. Umpires today, Paul Omaday Jr. and Tristan Mead. So it's about to get underway. McCamish in the ruck. Up against Edwards. They go. McCamish wins it down. Good to see him back playing league footy. Edwards there. Jesse, that is for Tigers. First to the ball, wrapped up by Davies. Umpire will come and throw the ball up. Still inside the centre square. They go this time. Quaife does the ruck work. Wins it down to Edwards. Comes out to Jesse Edwards. First kick of the game. Spills towards Mitchell. Terrific player. Handball to Davies. Puts him under pressure straight away. Spills back out to Mitchell. Umpire lets the play go on. Kicked up high up and under by Rakowski. Mark taken. Good mark too by Tilby. First time I've seen Tilby. Always in the best players. Dangerous kick across ground. It's marked there by McCamish. Plays on straight away to Mitchell, getting plenty of the ball. Not his best kick. Cut off by Nitsky, been in terrific form. Tries to get around his opponent in Duncan. Couldn't do so. Gets the handball out to Soroka. Goes wide. Now they have numbers. It's Brown. He can run in. The ball bounces for him. He'll snap on goal for the first one. Has it touched on the line? No, it's gone through. And Brown gets the opening goal for Tigers. Found himself in plenty of space in the pocket and snapped truly over his left shoulder. Opening goal goes away of the visitors. They're on the board early, courtesy of the youngster in Brown. Done well on the far side of the ground was Duncan. Nitsky managed to get the handball out and it found Brown in plenty of space. Knows where the goals are, the youngster. Very important in the triple premiership in the Colts only a few years ago, kicking 50 or 60 goals. Nearly year in, year out during that 3-year undefeated run. The ball back in the middle. Edwards up against McCamish. McCamish wins it down once again. They have the numbers. Wheatley was there, couldn't soccer it off the ground. Comes to Davies, back to Wheatley, wrapped up straight away by Jesse Edwards. Umpire to come and throw the ball up forward line for the home side. Quaife does the ruck work. McCamish works around and gets it out towards front. Round by the 40 inside 50. 1 grab, 2 grab, couldn't be taken there by Masters.
Here comes Grant once again, pulls for the ball. Comes back out completely. Has he got time to go? He's like, please, one down, one passes, handballs towards, one down, one Barnsby. Sorry, the Tigers. Handballs towards the boundary line, ball to be thrown in. Just inside 50. For the home side, get the score. Early stages, first quarter. Quake does the ruck work, uses his big frame, wins it down, playing possession, comes towards Tilby. He's got Johnson to cover, he swings the ball out towards McCamish, blocks it into the middle of the ground. When they come now, Johnson, handball out to Quake, Quake can go under Jesse Edwards, puts him under pressure, backs his head, wrapped up by Robinson. I said you had Pryor, and the youngster, in Pryor Robinson, wins the ball, middle of the ground, flying side. Goes wide, looking there for Wilson. Brett Wilson, the skipper, takes a mark right on 50. It's not the idea. He'll take his best and get from 55, tight angle. Brett Wilson, looking for options. Decides to put it to the top of the square, goes out by chest high. Taken by brother
Kyle. So Kyle Wilson kicked 15 metres out, directly in front. This to get the response for the home side. Terrific use of the body in front of Johnson. In he comes now. Doesn't waste any energy. And they're on the board. Behind. Must have hit the post. Didn't kick through the footy there, Wilson. So a let off for Tigers. Reece Edwards to bring the ball back in for the visitors. Goes short and finds Barnsby. Barnsby called to play on, runs himself into trouble, tackled as he kicks it, and it lands on the chest of Wheatley. Not 15, gets a handball back. Puts his teammate under pressure in Wilson. That's Max Wilson. Just puts it onto his boot and it lands on the ample chest of Grant. And Brodie Grant will go back, tight angle, 20 metres out. This to see if he can get the home side, their opening major. Reece Edwards, the skipper for Tigers, stands the mark. Brodie Grant, been in good form this year. In he comes now, deliberate shot on goal. He's done enough. Through the middle they go. They hit the front now with that goal. 1-7, the home side, courtesy of Brodie Grant. The visitors, 1 straight 6. They're just under pressure there, Barnsby. He put himself under pressure and tackled as he kicked the ball. It landed to Wheatley. Got a handball over to Max Wilson. Wilson, well, he was tackled as well, but Grant playing in front, took the mark, made no mistake from 20 metres out. So a good start, early stages, first quarter. Ball back in the middle. Edwards up against McCamish. Edwards wins the ball down, comes to Wheatley. Wrapped up straight away by Edwards. That's Jed Edwards, the ruckman. Now Quaife, he's doing all the muscle work. Wins it out, but it goes towards Wheatley. Davies is there. In comes Davies hard. Umpire comes in, will throw the ball up. Jesse Edwards picks himself up off the ground. Quaife gets his big frame in front, wins it out the back towards Jed Edwards, comes to Jesse Edwards. Tries to get the handball over, spills out in the tackle to Robinson, drives the ball forward, gets it over the back. Brett Wilson drops the mark. It's going to run into an open goal from 50. Spills out towards Grant, the only goal kicker so far. Gets away from Reece Edwards, puts it to the top of the square. How will it bounce? It bounces through. And Brodie Grant has his second terrific kick. Hit the top of the goal square and bounced through. So Grant on the scoreboard early with a couple of goals. They get out to a 7-point lead. The early stages, first quarter. So proving to be a real thorn in Tigers' defence is Brodie Grant. Not the tallest fella going around. He's a decent frame though, playing centre half forward for Bridgetown, and he's got a couple up against Reece Edwards. The ball back in the middle. McCamish wins it down towards Davies. He's had a terrific season. Wrapped up there by Johnson. Ball spills out. Umpire will come in. Mitchell picks himself up off the ground. A little bit of assistance from Quaife from Tigers. A beautiful day for footy. Quaife does the ruck work, wins it down, knocks it backwards, lands in the arms of Wheatley, wrapped up by Rakowski. Umpire to do it all over once again. Quaife using his big frame. He's a big unit. Ball spills out towards Kemp hasn't been in the play so far. Comes towards Quaife. Wrapped up by McCamish. And in the centre of the ground, umpire will come in and do it all over again. Quaife and McCamish. Quaife wins a big hit out. Goes towards Ryan Edwards. Couldn't pick the ball up. Comes back to Quaife. Over to Rakowski. Tackling fierce in the middle of the ground. That was by Wheatley for Bridgetown. Umpire, they're earning their keep so far. McCamish wins it down to Davies. Spills out from a tackle from Kemp. Comes back to Davies. Gets some sort of kick onto his boot. Lands in the chest of Rakowski. Rakowski lays the tackle on Robertson. And on the centre wing far side, umpire to do it. Once again, clean possession by McCamish. Picked up by Davies. The free kick's been seen. Middle of the ground. It's going to go the way of McCamish, the ruckman. So good to see him back. Terrific player, McCamish. Goes short down the middle of the ground looking for Kyle Wilson. Bounces over his head. Giles tries to knock the ball out. In they come once again with Grant laying a fierce tackle right on the forward 50. It's on Dylan Edwards. Umpire to throw the ball up. Quaife does the ruck work once again. Wins it down. Wilson's there. Dangerous position for him. Wrapped up by Dylan Edwards. 2 goals, 1-13. 1 goal straight. Tigers, 7 points the margin. 5 minutes gone. Opening quarter. Ball spills out. Can't play for the whistle. Comes towards Davies. Terrific season. Over towards Robinson. Will it sit for him? It's close to the boundary. Gets a handball over to Kyle Wilson. Puts him under pressure. The Tigers defence under heaps of pressure on the far side of the ground. Comes to Brett Wilson. Sells a bit of candy. Shots on goal. Shoots on goal. And through for a minor score. Can't afford to give Wilson too much space. Normally makes you pay, but a let off there once again for the Tigers defence. They'll reset through their captain in Reece Edwards. Having his hands full so far with Brodie Grant, who's got the only 2 goals for the home side. Plays on, goes short, good kick. Mark dropped by Johnson. Has a bit of time to wheel around onto his left boot. Goes on the far side of the ground and finds Jed Edwards. Right on defensive 50. Jed Edwards has a player short. It's Rakowski. The top of his reach takes the mark. And they're still inside defensive 50, the visitors. Under pressure, being called to play on now. Goes in the middle of the ground, looking there for Johnson. The mark's dropped out the back by the Bridgetown defence. Spills out to Kemp, trying to get himself involved. Gets the handball towards Johnson. McCamish is there. Receives a handball now. On the far side of the ground, puts it into open space. Rakowski will be first back. Ball bounces up nicely for him. Goes inboard and finds Kemp, centre wing. Kemp goes in the middle of the ground and finds a skipper in Reece Edwards. He goes wide. Now they're just maintaining possession of the ball. Looking down there for Johnson, not the best kick. The ball's cut off. Defensive 50 by Lowe. Goes short, finds Mitchell. Mitchell gets onto his left boot. Has a player working for him. Skipper in Brett Wilson. Beautiful kick by Wilson. And he finds McAlinden. Plays on straight away. Puts it inside 50. Looking there for Kyle Wilson. Works himself into a good position and takes a strong contested mark. Go back from 25 metres out. 45-degree angle. Be disappointed with his first effort on goal. Let's see if he can make up for it now. Kyle Wilson. In he comes. That's a better shot on goal by Wilson. Kicks a goal, then runs to the bench. And they've got 3 the home side. 2 to Grant, 1 to Wilson. And so far, after the opening goal to Brown, they've had all the play. And they moved to 3 goals, 1-19. 13 points the margin. The visitors 1 goal straight. And that goal coming through Brown, which was the opening goal of the game. A terrific mark by Wilson. Watched the ball in the air. That's Kyle Wilson. Got himself in a really good position and took a strong contested overhead mark and made no mistake. Doherty now in the ruck for Bridgetown. It's one out by Edwards. but straight to Davies. Davies gets the handball over to Hugh Mitchell. Puts his teammate under pressure. That was Tate Craven. Goes in the middle of the ground. Dangerous, finds Robinson. Beautiful pick up by the youngster off the ground. Puts his teammate under pressure, but butters up. Gets the handball over to Davies. Davies had Mitchell out wide, but it's cut off. They're under pressure. Ball in the middle of the ground. Comes towards McCamish. Handballs over towards Cameron White. Will it sit up for him? Uses his big frame and manages to get the handball to Davies. Comes back to White. I don't know if he wanted it, but he kept running. Gets onto his left boot. Mark's taken in the deep in defence by Reece Edwards for Tigers. Goes short, finds Kemp. Kemp goes towards the wing. Not sure who he was looking for. First back was Jordan Lowe. Finds some time, goes wide, looking for McAlinden. Wheels around onto his left boot, puts it towards centre half forward. Cut off by Nitsky, uncontested. Goes short, finds a big fella in Quaife. Getting himself involved, Thomas Quaife. Goes long, looking for Brown. Ball sport, spills towards Lowe. Just chucks it onto his right boot, looking for McAlinden. Called Davies out, but it bounces past James McAlinden and out of bounds. Ball to be thrown in. Members side, 13 points the margin, halfway through this first quarter. Quaife does the ruck work. Goes straight towards Davies. Kemp picks it up. Handball's out. Mitchell will be first there. Gets around Johnson. Wheels around onto his left boot. Good looking kick. Ball sport by Edwards. That's Reece Edwards. Comes out the back towards Johnson. Back towards Edwards. They're under pressure once again. Now Edwards has time to steady. Looks inboard to Kemp. Bounces up nicely to Kemp. Gets a handball over to Barnsby. Straight down the middle of the ground. Looking for Nitsky. Carries over his head. And lands in the arms of Duncan. Duncan goes short. Finds Mitchell. Getting plenty of the ball is Mitchell. Has time to assess the options. Looks there for Wilson. Couldn't be spoilt by Johnson. Gets the ball back to his brother, Kyle Wilson. Not his best kick on his left boot, but Wilson butters up. That's Kyle. He'll put it to the top of the square. Good kick. Finds Masters. Takes the mark in front of Giles. And Masters will go back for his first kick on goal in this game. 25 metres out, tight angle. Will Masters, son of a gun, knows where the goals are. Let's see what he can do from here. Will Masters, quiet last week. In he comes now, deliberate shot on goal. Narrow all the way through for a minor score. So another let off for Tigers. Couple of misses that normally Bridgetown forwards would get. One to Wilson, one to Masters. And they'll reset once again through Reece Edwards. Kicking duties today for him. Skipper for Tigers. Undecided. Now he goes on the far side of the ground. Good kick too. Finds Zach Johnson. Outside defensive 50. Been called to play on. High up and under. It's going to favour McCamish. Couldn't take it on the second grab. Butters up now. Soccer's off the ground. Tries to get it towards Robinson. But the boundary line wins this contest. Ball to be thrown in. Centre wing. 3 goals, 2-20. Bridgetown, 14 points the margin. 1 goal straight, Tigers. And as we said, that was the opening goal of the game. Bridgetown with the next 3. Quaife does the ruck work. Wins the ball down in front of Doherty. Spills out towards Wheatley. Comes back in with a second effort. Still in dispute. Far side of the ground. Now they're trying to get out. The handball's an errant one. Spills back towards Wheatley. Gets onto his left boot. And finds Wilson. Wilson has a player short. Dangerous kick. Kemp gets a hand on it. Over the top of McAlinden. In comes Edwards. Tackled. Illegal disposal. Free kick to Wheatley. Centre of the ground. Beautiful looking kick. Looking for Wilson. Nudges his player under the ball. Craven's first back. Good pick up by the youngster. Good looking kick too. Finds Masters. Good composure there by Tate Craven. Masters, similar distance, 25 metres out, 30 metres out, directly in front. It's a lot easier shot on goal. And this to get 4 in a row for the home side. In he comes now, a couple of steps. Better looking kick from Masters. He makes no mistake. Margin now out to 20 points as Will Masters gets his first of the game. Unselfish there by Craven. Beautiful pick-up by the youngster. Masters on a searching lead. It's a beautiful kick, hit him lace out. And Masters made no mistake from 30 metres out, directly in front. So 4 goals, 3, 27. 1 goal straight, 6. 21 points the margin. 18 minutes gone in this opening quarter. Jed Edwards up against Doherty. Edwards wins it down. Spills out the back towards Brett Wilson, who's pushed himself in the middle of the ground. Good marks taken by Johnson. Zach Johnson goes short, finds Nitsky. Nitsky gives a handball back to Johnson. Through the corridor they go now. Good kick too. Finds Brown, the only goal kicker. Now they go inside 50. Looking there for Edwards. Hand put up by Jordan Lowe. Knocks it down. Ball in dispute. 30 metres out. Spills out towards Davies. Davies just bullocks his way through. Handballs out to Duncan. Duncan hits the umpire. One of the best spoils of the game. He wouldn't have done that for a while. Paul Jr. Terrific spoil by the umpire. Duncan had a player out wide. These things happen. Quaife wins it down. Knocks it towards goal. Goes towards Duncan. Wrapped up by Kemp. Umpire to throw the ball up. 30 metres out from goal. Looking for a goal here. Good spot too. Spills out towards Davies, just chucks it onto his boot, but lands on the chest of Jed Edwards for Tigers, 60 metres out from goal. As a player short, Dylan Edwards. Still too far out to score. He'll take his best, 55. All the holes are covered up now. Put it to the top of the square, does so. It's going to land towards Nitsky, gets his player under the ball, comes towards Starkey. Umpire's seen a free kick. He had a bounce on the full, is called. The free kick will go to the wily veteran. He wanted me to say that. He didn't want me to say the oldest man on the field. It'll go to Paul Starkey. Terrific player. Leaving a better bloke. Goes short, dangerous. It's going to land okay. Comes out, handball to Nitsky. Gets around 1-2. Snap on goal by Nitsky. Eventually they got there. And Nitsky gets the second one for the visitors. So a dangerous kick. Went through 2 or 3 sets of legs. But in the end, Nitsky made no mistake from 20 metres out. Beautiful snap. 2 straight, 12. 4-3, 27. So 15 points the margin. Nearly 21 minutes gone in this opening quarter. We can't say it, Rowett. Rowett's our cameraman today, but could we say that was a goal assist by the umpire? They were ready to get it out. He's a terrific bloke, Paul Smoothie Omade. But these things happen. Ball back in the middle. Doherty in the ruck, up against Jed Edwards. Doherty wins it down. Spills out towards Craven, knocks it towards Davies. Umpire's seen a free kick. It'll go the way of Craven. Centre wing has players running for him. Sides to go wide. Good kick too. Finds Doherty, the ruckman, in front of Quaife. Has short options. Now he goes long. Nearly kicks into the man on the mark. Looks there for Kyle Wilson. That's a good kick. And takes the mark in front of Giles. Plays on. He'll put it to the top of the square. Out the back there for Grant. Spills out. It's Wilson. Snap on goal by Wilson. It's gone over the post. Through for a minor score. It's very quick to get ball from hand to foot was Brett Wilson. So another let off. 4 goals, 4, 28, 2 straight, 12, 16 points to margin, nearing in on quarter time. Reece Edwards to bring the ball back into play. Goes long and strong. Soroka took his eyes off the ball. Ball bounces out of bounds. And the free kick will go the way of Bridgetown. And it'll go the way of Craven. Really getting himself involved. It's there for Wilson once again. Comes out towards Doherty, the big ruckman. Handball over towards Wilson. Taps it cleverly towards Davies. Davies has a player out the back of the pack in Wheatley. Gets around Nitsky. Puts it to the top of the square. Good spoil by Dylan Edwards. Comes back towards Kyle Wilson. Spills out to Craven. Umpire's seen a free kick. It's going to go the way of Kyle Wilson. So another tight angle for Wilson. Has a player short. Lacks checking as the mark is taken by McAlinden. So James McAlinden, 30 metres out, nearly directly in front. And this to get the response after Niski Gold, the last time Tigers went forward. In he comes now, McAlinden. Usually a reliable kick on goal. He sure is. And McAlinden makes no mistake. So McAlinden joins the goal kickers. Gets himself on the board late stages of this opening quarter. 5 goals, 4, 34. 2 goals straight, 12. 22 points the margin. And after seeing Wilson's first shot on goal early stages of this quarter, the Tigers' defence should have known that he couldn't kick that far. And it just opened up. And McAlinden, well, he's a genuine forward. Found that space. And then Wilson honoured that lead. McAlinden made no mistake. That margin out to 22 points. So McCamish now back in the ruck. Up against Jed Edwards. McCamish wins it down. It goes towards Davies. Pushed off the ball by Edwards. Comes back to Edwards. Tries to handball towards Quaife. Cut off by Wheatley. Duncan's there. Umpire's seen a free kick. It'll go the way of the home side. Go the way of Wheatley. So Matt Wheatley been good in this opening quarter. Player short. It is Duncan, right at the half back line. Plays on, goes wide, switches play. He's asking a fair bit of Kyle Wilson. Good attack on the footy. He could have done himself a little bit of damage, but he picks himself up, comes towards Soroka, looks for Kemp, cut off by Duncan, getting himself involved. High up and under, Nitsky in best position, takes the mark. Centre of the ground in front of Kyle Wilson. Cooper Nitsky. Terrific pick-up for Tigers, high up and under. Barnsby had to reach over the top. Spills out to Starkey. Starkey handballs towards Soroka. Spills that to Rakowski. He'll have a shot on goal. And he makes no mistake. Jordan Rakowski. So goal for goal, late stages of this first quarter. Starkey put his teammate under pressure, but it spilled out to Rakowski. Sat up nicely for him. Took a couple of steps from 40 metres, put it straight through. So 3 goals neat, 18, 5-4, 34, 14 points the margin. Terrific opening quarter of footy. Nearly 26 minutes gone. As McCamish and Jed Edwards do battle once again. Comes to Edwards, comes back to Edwards after the ruck knock. Kemp in front position, handballs over to Nitsky. We've seen a fair bit of that. He handballs to Starkey. Starkey runs to 40, closes, bang, 2 in a row. Margin 8 points. The wily veteran, he put the skates on, close to 40. So 4 goals straight, back-to-back goals. Rakowski and then Starkey. A terrific opening quarter of footy. So 10 points the margin. 26 and a half minutes gone in this opening quarter. And Kemp and Nitsky getting themselves involved in the middle of the ground. And they've done it all year. What a combination. This time McCamish wins the ball down. Umpire's seen a free kick. It'll go the way of Davies. Been good. Has players short. One of them's Wheatley. Wheatley takes the mark, centre wing, members side. Gets onto his left foot. Goes even wider, looking there for Wilson. Gets his player under the ball, then didn't put his hand up for the mark. Spills out the back towards Mitchell. Mitchell gets it to Brett Wilson, just chucks it onto his boot. Front position, mark taken. McAlinden once again There's a player down. Dylan Edwards. Something happening in that marking contest. Dylan Edwards doesn't look too good. Not sure what happened there. He's on his feet now. He's won the free kick. So a little bit worse for Ware. Dylan Edwards, he'll come to the bench. Hopefully be right to go back on second quarter. The free kick goes the way of Tigers. It'll be taken by his brother Reese. Something to talk about. It's a way to get a free kick off your brother. So still deep inside defensive 50. Edwards goes short. Good kick too. Finds Jed Edwards. So they've cleared the defensive zone. Skipper runs past. Now he's been called to play on. He'll have to go long and strong. Look there for Quaife. Puts his hands up. He's actually spoilt there by Starkey. Handball over towards Nitsky. In they come now. They're up and about now, Tigers. Back-to-back goals. Umpire to throw the ball up. Right in front of the Tigers interchange box. It's a score 5 goals, 4-34 to 4 goals straight. 10-point margin in favour of the home side. Comes to Quaife. Spills back to Quaife. High up and under. Looking there for Brown over the top of him. The spoil's made by McCamish. Ball to be thrown in. 60 metres out from Tigers' goal. Can they get another one? Late stages, very long quarter. 29 minutes gone. They get one here. 3 in a row to finish this opening quarter off. Quaife. Front position. Spills out to Mitchell. Mitchell gets it to Robinson. Robinson gives it back to Mitchell. Runs his full measure. Goes wide. Looking there for Kyle Wilson. And there's a siren for quarter time. Outstanding first quarter of footy. 5 goals, 4-34. The home side. That's after Tigers kicked the opening goal to 4 goals straight. 24. So 10 points of margin. But Tigers kicked the last 3 goals of that first quarter. We'll be back with the second quarter margin, quarter time, 10 points in favour of the home side, and we'll be back shortly. So quarter time here, Bridgetown Recreational Oval sees Bridgetown hold a 10-point lead, 5 goals for 34 to 4 goals straight 24. So it's courtesy of the last 3 goals coming the way of the visitors. Out of nowhere, really. Nitsky, Rakowski and Starkey, all with 1 apiece, sees that margin 10 points. We're about to get underway. Second quarter. Up they go. Edwards this time wins it down straight to himself, drives the ball forward, comes back out towards Wheatley. Wheatley gets the handball over towards Mitchell. Mitchell to Lowe to McCamish. Spills out to Grant. Kicked 2 goals in the opening quarter. Gets a handball to Craven. A shot on goal. How will it bounce? Bounces through. Minor score. So transition game. Sensational from both teams. Edwards, Reese brings the ball into play. Finds Johnson. It's Blake Johnson. Goes wide. He looks there for Soroka. That was Robinson that had that shot on the goal. It was Craven Sport. Soroka. Ball goes over the boundary line right in front of the Tigers interchange box. Quaife does the ruck work, wins it out towards Soroka, misses it, spills out to Davies, tackled by Quaife, illegal disposal, comes to Quaife, handball straight away to Kemp. Kemp through the middle of the ground, looks for Rakowski, over the shoulder. Rakowski with a goal to his name, opening quarter, good goal too from the youngster, has a player wide. It's Jesse Edwards, bounces up nicely for him, waited for it, hugs the boundary, will it stay in play? No, it doesn't. That could be 50 metres. Lucky let off there. Thought it was 50. Youngster in Soroka had the ball, then just put it on the deck. Disappointed with the kick. But that's 50 every day of the week, and Mitchell will take the free kick. No one mans the mark. He's run all the way. Goes short. Good-looking kick too. Finds Wilson. 45 metres out directly in front as a player. Uses him. McAlinden. McAlinden takes the mark. 35 metres out directly in front. And this to get the opening score, second quarter. Opening major. And McAlinden. Nice goal in the first quarter. James McAlinden. Reese Edwards stands the mark. 35 metres out. McAlinden comes in. Narrow all the way through for a minor score. So a few let-offs here for Tigers. They need to straighten up a little bit, Bridgetown. Reese Edwards, as we said, kicking duties to skipper. Now the leads come. It's going to come to the near side of the ground. Player short, big fella Quaife, drops the mark he should have taken. Now he's put himself under pressure, gets around the tackle from Wilson, comes out the back, Wilson butters up. It's Connor Edwards. Now Wilson's there, wins the ball, tries to get the handball over to Davies. Davies lays a tackle, still under pressure. In comes Wilson, handball out towards Grant. Could have been tackled without it. Grant will come back for another effort, spills to Edwards, under pressure. Craven knocked out of the way, spills out the back towards Connor McCamish. It's a calamity of errors just on defensive 50 as it comes to Jesse Edwards. Spills back out to the big fella in Quaife. Tried to be wrapped up there by Craven. That was David and Goliath, but sitting out the back of the pack is Mitchell. Handballs out towards Wilson. And Wilson goes wide. Through the middle of the ground, they'll use Mitchell once again. He's really started to get his hands on the footy, looking down for Masters. Couldn't take the mark on the second grab. Butters up, gives it back to Mitchell. Mitchell comes back inboard. Interesting looking kick, but it's found McAlinden. And it's like Groundhog Day. We're back to where we started 3 minutes ago. And McAlinden will have a shot on goal. A little bit further out. No, he goes for the pass. Masters spills over the back to Kyle Wilson. Bounces over the pack and through for a major. So somehow they got the goal and Kyle Wilson gets his second. All that play, one side, then the other, come back to McAlinden from pretty much where it started. He looked in for Masters. Masters had a couple of opponents, but it spilled out to Wilson and it bounced over the two players right at the goal line and through for a major. So that margin is 5 goals, 6 goals, 6, 42, 4 goals straight, 18 points. All the score so far, second quarter, the way of the home side. Ball back in the middle. Comes towards Davies. In they come hard. That was Wheatley. Then lays the tackle. Umpire to throw the ball up once again. Quaife doing the ruck work. Been good too. Comes to Edwards. Wrapped up by Davies. McCamish gets front position. Quaife works his way around. Kemp. Edwards is there. Looks for the free kick. Umpire says no. So Edwards has got Davies. Looks like he's semi-hard tag. Spills out towards Quaife. Doesn't get much boot to ball. Then comes to Mitchell. Mitchell towards Wheatley. Wheatley, and now it's back towards Mitchell. Goes wide. Dangerous kick. Far side of the ground. They go long and strong. Looking there for Wilson. Spool comes in. Comes to Grant. Kick a goal. Grant does so. What a goal by Brodie Grant. Terrific roving. He's got 3. He hit that with pace. Ran his full measure. Made no mistake from 30. Brodie Grant, 2 in the first quarter. 1 in the second. And they have all the answers so far. They really need to man up on Mitchell. It's not like it's the first game he's ever done this. He's done this for probably 10 years. He's a real link man in play, is Hugh Mitchell. In the middle of the ground now. Doherty does the ruck work. Comes towards Kemp of Tigers. Now it spills out to that man Mitchell once again. Gets onto his left boot. Bounces in front of Grant. Has Johnson for company. Tries to get the handball out to Robinson. Spills back out. Starkey, middle of the ground. Rakowski falls over just as he was about to mark the ball. Comes to Wheatley. Gets onto his left boot. Kicks it around the corner. Lands on the chest of Reece Edwards. Middle of the ground. Rakowski. Edwards resets. Player short. Kemp. Still inside defensive 50. Jed Kemp. One of their imports. Goes inboard. Goes short. Finds Ryan Edwards. Now they're outside defensive 50. Dangerous kicks. Missed his target. Over the back they come. Now Robinson. He'll put it back inside 50. Edwards might have went a little bit early. Spills out towards Kyle Wilson. Had brother Brett there. Just wheels around on his left boot. Masters in best position. Over the top of him came Giles. Ball 10 metres out. Wrapped up. Umpire will throw the ball up. 10 metres out from Bridgetown's goal. 7 goals, 6 to 4 goals straight. Tigers yet to score. Good tackle there by Barnsby. Just as Robinson was about to shoot on goal and through for a minor score. So 7 goals, 6, 48. 4 goals straight, 24. So 24 points the margin. 8.5 minutes gone. Second quarter. Ball brought back in by Reece Edwards. Finds Johnson. Blake Johnson. Goes short. Puts his teammate under pressure. He'll have to butter up. In they come now. Tackle laid by Davies. That was on brother Zach Johnson. So not the best kick. He's put his teammate under pressure. Now Kyle Wilson does the ruck work. His first ruck knock he's ever had in his whole life, I would think. Wins the ball back. He'll have a shot on goal. Will it bend back? It goes across the face. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick the way of Tigers. It'll go to Giles. Player short, running for him. Kemp takes the ball, being called to play on. Gets around Wilson on the mark. Now steadies. He'll look for Jed Edwards. It's got to come from the back. Doherty wins the ball down towards Mitchell. Couldn't pick it up. Spills back out to Jed Edwards. Then to Doherty. Fierce tackling right in front of the Tigers interchange box. In they come now. Umpire's letting the ball go on. Now he comes in to throw the ball up. So hand it back to him by Kemp. So they need a goal here. Tigers need to get themselves on the scoreboard. It's one down to Blake Johnson. Bounces over the top of Starkey. Spills out the back. Brown. Now it comes to Wardell Johnson. Dangerous looking kick. It's a dart. Finds Brett Wilson. Has a player running for him in Craven. Can take this and go. Does so. Looks for Masters on the lead. Puts his hand up. Couldn't take it. Spills out to Kenneman. Shot on goal. He's got it. Terrific roving by the youngster. He's only just run onto the ground. Run straight up to the forward line and got himself a goal. So Kiddenham, what a way to introduce yourself to this game. He ran straight through the interchange box, straight up inside 50. The Masters, it's a terrific effort, good contest, and Kidderman hit that pack. He was just running to get in position. The ball lands in his arms and he snapped truly. So 3 goals to no score in this second quarter, and this margin now is out to 5 goals. Ball back in the middle. Edwards does the ruck work. Doherty wins it down, goes straight to Quaife, playing as a ruck rover. Comes to Mitchell, near best on ground. Handball back out to Brett Wilson. Goes down to that man, Kiddenham, and he takes the mark right at the half-forward line. Good looking kick too. Finds McAlinden right on 50. Masters provides a lead. That's a better lead. Better kick too from McAlinden. And they are on song early stages this second quarter. Masters will kick from 30 metres out, directly in front, going for his second and his team's 9th. What an impact by the youngster, Kiddenham. Will Masters. In he comes, deliberate shot on goal. And they're up and about now, the home side. 9 goals, 6, 60, 4 goals straight, 24, 36 points the margin. 12 minutes gone in the second quarter. 4 goals to no score. Halfway through this second quarter, goals to Grant, Wilson, that's Kyle Wilson, Will Masters, and Kiddenham. So Tigers need to get themselves going here, get it out of the centre. Some of their matchups they might have to change. I'm not sure about the matchup of Quaife on Mitchell. It's not working. This time Wardell Johnson wins it down. Goes to Nitsky, over to Kemp. Now Kemp drives it forward. It'll go just inside 50. Ball sports down. Duncan's there. He'd been good down there too. Picks the ball up, wrapped up straight away by Connor Brown. Umpire to come and throw the ball up. Right on the forward 50. Quaife this time does the ruck work. Wins it down to Nitsky. Just chucks it onto his left boot. Starkey in best position. Couldn't take the mark at the second grab. They come now. How's the umpire see this? No prior. As Edwards wrapped up Cameron White. Ball to be thrown up 10 metres out from Tigers' goal. Quaife wins it down. Ball still in dispute. Comes to Starkey. Now it's kicked out there to Kiddenham. He's really getting himself involved. He got bundled out of that pack. Comes towards Kemp. Kemp gets the handball out towards Brown. Brown's met by Craven. Tries to get the handball over towards Edwards. Now it spills out. Errant handball comes to Edwards. Tim Davies is there. Edwards is there. In they come. Edwards wrapped up. That's Hadley. Ball to be thrown up. Right on the half-forward line. 9 goals, 6, 60. 4 goals straight, 24. Free kick goes the way of Tigers and it'll go the way of Hadley Edwards. Player short in Nitsky. Just goes the required distance. Nitsky takes the mark. Goes short. And it's on repeat. Nitsky finds Kemp. And Kemp takes the mark in front of Mitchell. He'll have to kick this from 50. Slight angle, Jed Kemp. And terrific pick-up for Tigers. So Kemp, any score will be their only score so far in this second quarter. A goal would be nice. Nitsky runs on. In comes Kemp. Gains a little bit on the mark. It's on its way. Has it got the distance? Gets right to the goal line. A little bit narrow through for a minor score. So their first blemish, but their first score of the second quarter. Ball's brought back into play quickly. Mitchell's there, ties the ball up, far side of the ground. And that was Barnsby. Just carry that over the boundary line. And ball to be thrown in. Right on 50. Quaife does the ruck work. I'll have to reload that one. So boundary umpire, do it all over again. Quaife up against Doherty. Quaife wins it out the back. Umpire's seen a free kick. Go the way of Bridgetown. And it goes the way of Doherty. Player short. Good kick too from the big fella. McAlinden goes into the middle of the ground, finds Craven. Tate Craven, being good. Gets around the man on the mark in Johnson. Gains a couple of metres. High up and under. Puts his teammate under pressure. Takes a good mark. That's Brett Wilson in front of Nitsky. Plays on. Gains 5 or 10 metres. Puts it into open space. Tigers have the numbers. One of them is Edwards. Bounces nicely for him. Had Masters for company. Masters does well. Sees the ball over the boundary line. So end-to-end stuff. Ball to be thrown in. Now this time it's in forward 50 for Bridgetown. 9 goals, 660, 4-1-25, 35 points the margin. 16.5 minutes gone in this second quarter. Quaife wins the ball down. It'll favour Wheatley. Has a player out the back in Doherty. Just chucks it onto his big boot. Will it stay in play? No, it won't. Out of bounds on the full. Watch that red cruiser down there. Could be someone I know, as in me. Ball to be kicked back in by Hadley Edwards. As a player short, Reece Edwards goes backwards and just goes the required distance. Now they're away, middle of the ground. Dylan Edwards, pursued by Craven. Goes down the middle looking for Ryan Edwards. Bounces past him. Oh, that's a terrific tackle. That's by Beggs. Also played a game of Colts today, Ken Beggs. That tackle was on low, ran him down just as he was about to kick it. Wins the free kick, comes towards Duncan. Duncan does well on Nitsky, comes back towards Duncan. Now it's 3-1. Duncan comes in and lays a beautiful tackle. Done well there, the youngster. Tackle was on Jed Edwards. Ball to be thrown up right in front of the Tigers interchange box. I need to get something going here. Comes down towards Nitsky. Back toward Kiddenham. Now to Beggs. Beggs gets a handball to Kemp. Kemp goes short, middle of the ground. Finds Connor Edwards. Connor Edwards has players running for him. Undecided, goes wide. That's Nitsky. And in front of him, cutting in front of him was McAlinden. Good spoil. McAlinden sees the ball over the boundary line. There's still 2 kicks out from Bridgetown's goal. They've had all the answers. 3/4 of the way through this second quarter. Doherty gets front position, wins it down towards Davies. Davies plays a little bit of basketball, gets the handball out. Now they're away. Beggs picks it up, gets around one. Tackled as he went to handball. It spills out towards Edwards. They're under pressure. Soccer off the ground. Comes towards Duncan to Wheatley. Cut off by Kemp. Great spoil by Duncan. Comes to Quaife. Quaife gets it to Jesse Edwards. Gets onto the left boot looking for Starkey. Starkey takes the mark. Shot on goal. Paul Starkey, 35 metres out. Right side for a right footer. He'll take his best. Already with 1 to his name. In he comes now. Paul Starkey kicks on its way. It's going to go across the face of goal. And through for a minor score. So only 2 behinds in this second quarter to Tigers. Closing in on 20-minute mark of this second quarter. 4 goals, 2 in favour of the home side. Long and strong. Craven will come from 3 deep. A clean hand on the ball. Probably in the end could have taken the mark. Comes back in with a tackle. Tackle on Nitsky. Umpire to throw the ball up, this time in front of the Bridgetown interchange box. Reached over the top was Edwards. Comes back out to Wheatley. Been good so far. Tries to get the handball to Wilson. Had Starkey for company. And they come now. And that ball's going nowhere. That was White. Umpire to throw it up. Right on forward 50 for the visitors. Reaching over the top was McCamish. It'll favour Davies. He's wrapped up straight away by a couple of Tigers players in Beggs and Nitsky. So still 2 kicks out from Tigers' goal. One down by McCamish. Comes to Kemp. Tries to fend off Duncan. Duncan does well. Pushes Kemp over the boundary line. This time the ball to be thrown in. So reached a little bit of a lull in the goal scoring department. McCamish, big hit, spills towards Craven. Now it comes over to Edwards. Connor Edwards goes to the top of the square. Lowe's there. Doesn't bounce nicely for him. Knocks it out. In comes Soroka, first to the ball. Been quiet today, Soroka. I've seen him play better. Tries to get the handball out to Barnsby. Starkey's there. They leave him alone. Handballs towards Edwards. Jesse gets around 1, 2, 3. Snap on goal by Edwards. It's going to stay in play. No, it doesn't. Mark taken. Deep in defence. Now they go out, and that's that man, Mitchell. He's been terrific. Gets onto his left boot, runs his full measure. Good mark, McAlinden. Good mark, McAlinden. Terrific mark over the top of Barnsby. Plays on straight away. Looks for Mitchell. Could have been taken without it. Now he plays on. Smart move. Mitchell goes inboard. Robinson, he'll put it to the top of the square. Masters has front position. Dylan Edwards makes the spoil. Comes back to Masters. Couldn't get his boot to ball. Good tackle, Edwards. Dylan Edwards wins a free kick. Deep in defence. Goes short. Finds Zach Johnson. Zach Johnson is a player for him. And Jed Edwards, not his best kick. Goes through his legs. Comes to Craven. Gets around Edwards. Can have a shot on goal, Craven. Make him pay. Through for a minor score. Oh, nutmeg. Not his best kick, Johnson. Just put his teammate under pressure. They know if they miss it, there's going to be a Bridgetown player there very smartly. This time Dylan Edwards brings the ball in. Finds Soroka. Just inside defensive 50, Josh Soroka. Terrific young player. He goes long. Good kick too. Brown in front position. Over the top of him came McCamish. Makes the spoil. Ball to be thrown in. Centre wing, members side. 9-7. 61. 4-2. 26. 35 points the margin. Kemp affects the tackle on Brett Wilson. Umpire to come in, throw the ball up. Half forward line. Connor McCamish does the ruck work. Spills out. Davies come in. Big tackle by Davies on Beggs. Illegal. Beggs wins the free kick. I like him as a player. Handballs over to Nitsky. Nitsky goes wide to Connor Edwards. Edwards has Johnson even wider. Far side of the ground. He misses a mark. Who's there? Hugh Mitchell. Sockets it to his own advantage. Picks it up. Wheels back onto his left boot. Puts it to the top of the square. Mark couldn't be taken as Reece Edwards comes over with the spoil, but it goes straight back out to Hugh Mitchell. Handballs inboard to Brett Wilson. Gets around 1. Puts it to the top. Brodie Grant, will it sit for him? He'll look for his 4th. Ball wouldn't bounce up. Comes over to Craven. Then to McAlinden, who's been terrific. Tackled as he's about to handball. Free kick won by Jesse Edwards. In defence, they are under extreme pressure. Dangerous kick finds Barnsby. Right on defensive 50 in front of Mitchell. Goes wide, looking for the big fella in Quaife. Carries him. Lands on the chest of Lowe. Lowe goes inboard and finds Mitchell. Definite a set of Archie Thongs if he keeps this up for the rest of the game. And a beanie. Goes inboard to Wheatley. Wheatley, short kick, finds Kyle Wilson. Looks down for McAlinden, but cutting in front was Kemp. Kemp plays on, finds Barnsby. Barnsby goes wide to Zach Johnson. This time he takes a mark. Has a bounce, far side of the ground. Drives the ball long, looking for Rakowski. Couldn't take the mark. Probably should have done a little better. Butters up now. Ball in dispute. Now it's inside 50. In they come. Forward 50 for Tigers. Ball's tied up. Be thrown up as Brown picks himself up off the ground, as well as Doherty. And Quaife to do the ruck work. Be up against McCamish. Win the ball down. Spills out the back. It's towards Barnsby. Doesn't have much of the ball today. Barnsby wrapped up by Robinson. Umpire to throw the ball up right on the 50-metre line. Edwards does the ruck work. McCamish wins it down to Davies. Kicks it around the corner. Bounces on the wing. Craven tries to have a bounce. It didn't come back to him. It should have done. Spills out to Edwards. Good pressure there by Giles on Craven. He was away. Another ball up. This time just inside the centre square, favouring the end of Tigers. Without a major in this second quarter, McCamish wins it down, goes towards Beggs. Out-muscled by Mitchell. Mitchell's wrapped up by Kemp. Once again, the umpire will come in, throw the ball up. McCamish wins the ball down, comes to Wheatley, been good too, tries to bust through 2 or 3. Too many, the umpire said. Free kick will go the way of Jed Edwards. Put this to the top of the square. 26 minutes gone. Goes deep inside 50, looking for Starkey. Good spoil. Comes back out to Beggs. He'll shoot on goal, Beggs. Touched over the boundary, over the goal line. Ball to be brought back into play. That's all the answers so far. Not the best kick coming out of fullback. Mark's taken by Barnsby. So Tyler Barnsby, he'll shoot 45 metres out. He's got the distance. Terrific young player, Barnsby. And he comes now, kicks on its way. He's got the distance okay. No problem, Barnsby. He punished Bridgetown for that mistake. So Tigers get their first goal of the second quarter. They move to 5 goals, 3-33. 9-7-61. So 28 points the margin. As Barnsby, it's a terrific kick. Hasn't had a lot of the ball so far in this game, but made the most of that opportunity. No mistake from 45 metres out. So deep into this second quarter, 27 and a half minutes gone. Ball back in the middle of the ground. McCamish up against Edwards. Wins it down towards Davies. Mitchell's there. Been terrific first half. In comes Davies along with Edwards. Ball to be thrown up in the middle of the ground. That was Johnson. No ruckman wins it down. Favours Johnson. Gets a handball out in the open space towards that goal kicker Barnsby. He's found some life. Handballs towards the top of the square. It comes back to Johnson. Gets onto his left boot. High, up and under. In they come now. Spills out to Duncan, who's been terrific. Cleverly gets the ball around. That's a good kick. Finds McAlinden, centre wing. James McAlinden. Been good today. Has some short options. Now he goes long. Hugs the boundary. It's going to ask a fair bit of Brett Wilson. Free kick could have been given away. Was close. There's half time. So a late goal to Tigers. That margin 28 points. But Bridgetown had all the play. 4 goals to 1 in that second quarter. It was just an errant kick out of fullback from Bridgetown. Barnsby playing in front. Made the most of that opportunity and put it through from 45 metres out. It was a terrific kick from the youngster. Goal scorer so far in this first half. Well, Brodie Grant, he's had a day out, especially this first half. He's got 3 goals, 2 in the first, 1 in the second. Kyle Wilson, he's got a couple, 1 in each quarter. Will Masters the same. James McAlinden with 1. And Kiddenham, who run from the bench through the interchange all the way to the forward line. It landed in his arms and he made no mistake from 20 metres out. And for Tigers, well, Brown kicked the opening goal of the game. Mitchke, Rakowski and Starkey, they got 1 apiece all in the first quarter. And as we said, Barnsby got a goal late in that second quarter So 5 goals, 3, 33, 9, 7, 61, 28 points the margin, and we'll be back with the second half shortly.
relationship with Great Southern Fuels started with my father 50 years ago, delivering fuel in drums back in the day, which has progressed into large tanks now. They've been very reliable and efficient on time with service.
We run a mixed farming operation here on Chapman Valley, just north of Geraldton, managing about 5,500 hectares. We've been with what is now Great Southern Fuels for in excess of 20 years. There's always challenges and situations that catch you out, and they've been really, really good at accommodating that for us.
We've been with Great Southern for 28 years now. Look, they've given us exceptional service and the price competitive, so it's wonderful.
They're a great company to work for. They're a family-owned business. They will support you and whatever is required.
I've got Alan's phone number, I've got Steve's phone number, and I know if I ring it I'll get an answer, which is really cool.
The relationship's great and the service is second to none. So I ring up and it doesn't matter if it's Saturday, Sunday or whenever I ring up, I'll have fuel. So we've never been held up or had a problem with them. So my theory is that's what I'm about. It's about service and the relationship, and it's been fantastic.
It's very important to maintain long-term customers' loyalty and give back what you can when you can.
Great Southern Fuels is one of the few companies that I've been involved with that gives so much back to the local community. We support so many different organisations and country, sporting clubs, field days, farming organisations.
We endeavour to give back. The community looked after us by dealing with us, and we just gave it back in what we could do. The footy club needs a hand, well, it's because they need a hand that you give it to, not the other way around.
When you look at how they conduct themselves in the community, they've been a great supporter of the Livestock Transporters Association. Just incredible what they do.
I do a lot for the community, which is good. And not only Lake Race either, it's right where all his outlets are all over the state. He's been excellent with that.
We tend to sponsor major events, the Great Southern Football Carnival, Colt Carnival.
Across the board, I think sponsorships are a very important part of any community. I grew up in Lake Grace and footy was my life down there for a long time. Great Southern sponsored Lake Grace back then, and along with many other footy clubs and hockey clubs and tennis clubs, and we might not always be making a big deal out of it, but the people that get sponsored, they understand and they relate to it.
They do a lot for the town, so I can't fault them. They've been brilliant.
Great Southern Fuels have got strong values, and that shows in what they do. They walk the talk and they do what they do.
You deal with people that are there and care about your business, and these people have been absolutely wonderful.
I'm very proud of what Mum and Dad have achieved in their life and how they've structured the business, and it's all structured around our customers and looking after people and being in the right areas where we need to sell the fuel and have the support there and sponsorship. Being part of the community, even though we're not in that community, but our workers are there and that's part of us.
Late goal to Tigers in that second quarter was their only major. It was a beautiful goal too from Barnsby. It was an errant kick out of fullback from Ingle, and Barnsby made them pay. So before we start this second half, Sponsors: Great Southern Fuels, Agfree, Delta Ag, Kimberley Accommodation Group, UDF Trailers, Corrigan Hotel, Wild Gravel, Alumlu, Dartfish, Archie's Omnibus, Classic Clashes, Gallagher, Premium Grains. For all your grain needs, go and see Premium Grains, and the Manjimup Gateway Hotel and Permanent Hotel. Well, you can get anything from Paul Chookie Fowler, but you'll definitely get a beer and a feed, and what else comes? Well, you don't have to pay for that. And we also like to thank Manjimup Tyre Power, who are a fantastic sponsor of the Lower South West Footy League. 28 points of margin. Earlier games today, well, big win to Tigers in the Colts, 24 goals, 9, 153, 2 goals, 2, 14, 139 points of margin against the undermanned Bridgetown. And in the reserves, well, Bridgetown, they got on the board. Their second team, sitting second on the ladder. In the reserves, 11 goals, 5, 71 to Tigers, 5 goals, 7, 37. So 34 points of margin. We're just about to get underway here. Umpire holds the ball aloft, and away we go. It's Doherty starting the ruck work, wins it down, straight towards Nitsky, spills out towards Kemp. Some sort of handball. Just the one hand. Free kick will go the way of Robinson. Player in the middle of the ground. It's a high up and under. But they have time. Goes to Wheatley. Gets around Barnsby. He'll wield onto his left boot. Goes wide looking for Doherty. Carries over his head. Wilson's there. Kyle can't pick the ball up off the ground. Does so now. Gets a handball back to Doherty, the big fella. He doesn't want it there at his bootlaces. Wilson gets tackled, pushed over the boundary line by Jed Edwards. Umpire to throw the ball in. 28 points the margin. We did see Tigers kick 3 goals in that opening quarter in very quick time towards the end of that first quarter. So they have the ability to score and score quick. They need to do it now. It comes out to Reece Edward. His kick is smothered. Spills to Kemp. Kemp, handball to Johnson, then back to Nitsky. Puts him under pressure. Draws a crowd. Goes backwards. Finds Edwards. Mark Pay. Zach Johnson. So the skipper, Reece Edwards, goes short. Finds Jesse Edwards. Be unusual not to find an Edwards. There's that many of them playing. All good players. That kick's not a great one. Comes to Kai Robinson. Drives the ball long. Spills out over the back. Zach Johnson's there. Comes out to Grant. He already kicked 3. That's not going to come back. Should have done better there, Brodie Grant. Ball goes out of bounds. On the full. Free kick to go the way of Dylan Edwards for Tigers. He's been a handful up there. Brodie Grant. Edwards plays on straight away, goes short across goal, finds the skipper and brother in Reece Edwards. So Reece Edwards, under pressure, he'll look for Nitsky, does so. It's got to be a good kick too. Robertson makes a spoil, good closing speed by the youngster, comes out to Wilson, illegally. As Wilson had a shot on goal, the free kick will go the way of Barnsby for Tigers, deep inside defensive 50. And anyone that's interested in other scores, there's another game going on at the moment between D-Mill and Southerners. D-Mill hold a 12-goal lead at half-time, so they have to win all 3 and hope a couple of teams fall over. Barnsby, short kick, finds Soroka, been quiet today. Not his best kick, looking for Beggs, lands at his feet. Kemp's there, comes in, affects a tackle. Good tackle too from Kemp. Umpire to come in and throw the ball up. That was on Robinson. Edwards does the ruck work. Unopposed. One down by the ruckman of Bridgetown, but it spills out to Kemp. Has a player in the middle of the ground. Tries to go to him in Soroka. Mitchell closes. Soroka gets away from him. Then kicks the ball long. It's going to be cut off by Duncan. He plays on straight away. He's a good young player, Duncan. Over to Ingle. Goes long, strong, looks for Wilson. One hand, couldn't take the mark, spills out. In comes Wilson once again with the tackle. How's the umpire going to see this? I think he's in trouble. He sure is. There's Reece Edwards on the ground. Brett Wilson played smart play. Just sat on him. Edwards made no attempt. And Brett Wilson, shot on goal, 45 metres out. A slight angle. He's definitely got the leg from here. Hasn't got a goal to his name so far. Wilson, skipper, comes in. Deliberate shot on goal. Just gets the distance, carries the line. So the opening major of the third quarter goes the way of the home side, and it's through their skipper in Brett Wilson. And this margin now, they just have all the answers. Bridgetown made the most of their opportunities. A few let-offs. They've had a couple of good looks at goal and just kicked behind, so this margin could have been a lot more. They find themselves now 10 goals, 8, 68, 35 points the margin, 4 minutes into this third quarter. They just need to get it out of the centre, but they have no answer. Davies complimenting Mitchell beautifully. Wheatley's in there as well. They've all had good games. Comes to that man, Wheatley, gives it to Mitchell. Handballs out wide towards Craven. Gets onto his right boot. It's up there again. Good mark, Wilson. Second half specialist, Brett Wilson. Good contested mark. Connor Edwards as his opponent. Couldn't do any more there. Wilson took the mark and he'll have another shot on goal. Exactly the same position. Kicks on its way. Exactly the same result. Wilson's got back-to-back goals. The skipper extends this lead. It's getting out of reach for the visitors. That score now is 11 goals, 8. 74 to 41 points the margin. We've gone 5 minutes in this third quarter. Wheatley starts as a halfback and then pushes himself into the middle. And they are dominating out of the middle. Mitchell, Wheatley, Davies. Wilson runs through there as well. They have the luxury of playing him across half forward. Comes back out. There's that man Mitchell. Pair of Archie thongs coming his way if he keeps this up. Goes down. Mark Smith spills out to Kyle Wilson. Busts a tackle. Snap on goal. Anything you can do, bro. So can I. Kyle Wilson gets another one. And he gets goal number 3. And they are on fire in this third quarter. The Wilson boys. Brett with a couple. Kyle gets another one. He's got his third. Skipper Brett and brother, he's got a couple. And this margin now, 47 points. 12 goals, 8 to 5 goals, 3. And we've gone 6.5 minutes in this third quarter. I'm really sharpening up. Bridgetown, they're running to the finals. Up it goes again. One this time down by Edwards. Favours Nitsky, trying to get himself into the game. Tries to get the handball over to Kemp. Misses his target. Comes back to Davies. Wrapped up straight away by Rakowski. And Kemp. Umpire to throw the ball up. Just forward to centre. Bridgetown's way. They go again. One down by Doherty. Davies is there. Trying to get the ball to bounce up. Wrapped up by Nitsky. Umpire to do it all over again. Umpires have been good today. Favours Edwards. Over comes Doherty. Wins it down in the end. Spills back to him. Gets onto his right boot. Chucks it inside 50. Goes over the back. That's Wilson. Free kick's been paid. And it's going to go the way of the skipper, Brett Wilson. This time kicking closest to the members' side. 30 metres out. Slide angle. This for goal number 3 in the third quarter. Wilson, and he comes right behind this one. The skipper. It's narrow through for a minor score, so a let off. It's hard to tell there, but it did hold its line, but it was narrow. Ball to be brought back into play. Dylan Edwards doing the kick-in duties on this occasion. Goes short, looks for Johnson. Second grab, he's been fumbling today. Zach Johnson. Nearly spilt that one, but managed to take it on the third attempt. Goes wide, finds Hadley Edwards. Still inside defensive 50. He'll be forced to kick long here. It's a good kick. Lands at the feet of Reece Edwards. Drops the mark he should have taken. Manages to pick it up. Johnson in best position. Took his eyes off the ball. Spoil was made. Spills out the back to that man Mitchell. Gets around one tackle. Does so. Beautiful handball to Craven. Craven can go back to Mitchell. Tries to go back to Craven. Craven's wrapped up straight away. Free kick will go the way of Beggs. Two fine young Colts players from Tigers and Bridgetown. Beggs wins the free kick this time. Been called to play on. Goes in the middle of the ground, straight up the corridor. Over the top, came low with the spoil. And he has to butter up with the tackle. Umpire will come and throw the ball up. As young James Johnson hands the ball back to the umpire. Inside the centre square. Jed Edwards wins it down. Comes to Rakowski. Could have been taken without it. Handball from Nitschke to Kemp. Tries to get around Duncan. Slips over as he went to go past the 50. Now the ball's in dispute. Umpire to throw the ball up. Could have hurt himself there, Kemp. Hopefully not. Doherty up against Edwards. Wins it down. Nitschke just chucks it onto his boot. Starkey's there. Out muscled by White. Starkey will butter up. In comes Duncan. Brown just about to pick it up and have a shot on goal. Beggs gets a handball out. Comes towards Mitchell. Mitchell now to White. Good pick up by White. Dangerous kick. Comes to Nitschke. Bread and butter for him. Nitschke. Shot on goal. Goal. So Nitschke gets his second. You don't have to give him too many chances. Inside 40 metres in front of the big sticks. And that was just a mistake from the defence of Bridgetown. Nitschke pounced. And he gets one on the board. So their first goal of the third quarter at margin, 42 points with 10.5 minutes gone. They need a few more of them. As we spoke about at the halftime break, they have the ability to score quickly. But unless they can call the influence in the middle of the ground from Wheatley, Mitchell, and also Davies, it's now Max Wilson's moved in there, the youngster. One down by Edwards. Comes to that man, Wheatley. Handball out by Doherty. Favoured none of them. Gets the ball onto his boot. Kicked a terrific goal after coming off the bench. Brett Wilson gets around 1-2. Not the third time. Good tackle. Hadley Edwards. It's rare for Wilson to get tackled. Good tackle. Goes short, finds Nitschke, takes the mark in front of Grant, plays on straight away to Giles. Giles has a bounce, comes back to him, then tries to be cute with a short kick to Reece Edwards. Bounces up nicely, handball over to Ryan Edwards, back to Rakowski. They're under pressure. It'll come back to Giles, tries to break a tackle of Wheatley, can't do so. Umpire to come in, throw the ball up right in front of the Tigers interchange box. We should beat some first today. Wilson's ruck knock. I don't think Giles has had a bounce in his whole life. It spills out to Nitschke from that throw up. Ball in dispute. Mark taken. That's by Ingle. Goes wide. Looks for Craven. Has Soroka for company. Two youngsters. Comes back towards Soroka. Craven keeps his feet. In comes Johnson. Met heavily. Spills out the back to Quaife. High up and under. Ingle in best position. Takes a terrific mark. Has players short. Unsure what to do. Goes wide. Finds McAlinden. Pushing up the ground, James McAlinden. One goal to his name. Been a good target up there. Looks short for Mitchell. James Johnson comes over in front, makes a spoil. Ball goes out of bounds. Far side of the ground, 60 metres out from Tigers' goal. 12 goals 9, 6 goals 3. I've just had all the answers so far. 3 goals to 1 in this third quarter. Tackles put on by Rakowski on Wilson, Max Wilson. This time McCamish does the ruck work, tries to knock it back, comes back towards Mitchell now. Couldn't pick it up. A rare fumble from him, draws a crowd. That's Rakowski and Edwards. Ball to be thrown up right on forward 50 for the visitors. One down by McCamish, knocks it towards Craven. Wrapped up by Ryan Edwards. So the umpire's working overtime today. Been a good game of footy. Heaps of physical pressure from both sides. Socket off the ground by Max Wilson to the wing. Quaife's there. And they come now. Quaife picks it up, wrapped up by McAlinden. Umpire to throw the ball up, just inside the centre square, centre of the ground. Edwards gets front position. It's one down by McCamish towards Mitchell. Comes to James Johnson, chucks it onto his left boot. Lowe falls over at the inopportune time, comes towards Brown. Kicked the goal, first goal of the game in the first quarter. Spills out to Soroka. Free kick's going to go the way of Brown. He's tackled late as he got rid of that ball by Lowe. He kicked from 45 metres out. He'll take his best. He definitely knows where the goals are. Connor Brown. And he comes now. Gains a little bit of room. Not his best kick. Goes straight to Robinson. Plays on. Go past Brown. Gives it to Lowe. Puts Lowe under pressure. Long and strong. Looking for Wilson. Over the top come Quaife. Missed the ball. Wilson keeps his feet. Has a bounce. Gets onto his left boot. Good looking kick. Looks for brother Brett. Carries over the top of him. Out the back towards Dylan Edwards. Has Johnson running for him. Bounces in front. In they come now. The forwards of Bridgetown. Errant kick towards Edwards. That's Ryan Edwards. Misses everyone. Goes out of bounds. Ball to be thrown in. Right on forward 50 for Bridgetown. Quaife's intention was to hit that ball to the next suburb. He missed it. Wilson kept his feet and put it inside 50. Ball's tapped out by McCamish towards Johnson. Could be in trouble now. Umpire lets the ball go on. Comes to Craven. Edwards picks it up. Ryan Edwards wrapped up by Craven. Ball to be thrown up. Right on forward 50. 15 and a half minutes gone in this third quarter. Another little lull in this game. One down by McCamish, straight to Max Wilson. Comes to Nottingham. Kicked a terrific goal. We've spoken a lot about that. He's getting himself in the right position. The ball's carried over the boundary line right in front of the scoreboard. Beautiful day for footy. A little bit of rain early. But perfect conditions now. McCamish gets Edwards out of the way illegally, surely. Jed Edwards will receive the free kick. Player short, Nitsky. Davies will come across the front of Duncan. Probably spoiled each other. Davies tries to keep his feet. Socket off the ground by Lowe. Grant's there. In comes McCamish. Ball spills out, handball towards Davies. Misses his target. And now they're out on the far side of the ground. Jesse Edwards gets a kick up looking for Beggs. That's a good mark by Beggs. In front of Wardell Johnson. 2 kicks out from goal, Beggs. Already played a game of Colts. Gets a handball back to Jesse Edwards. Runs himself into a bit of trouble. Looks for Barnsby. And Barnsby takes the mark right on 50 in front of Robinson. Has a player running for him. The ball's cut off. In comes Kemp. Second effort by Kemp. It's Max Wilson. He's done well there. Ball to be thrown up. 30 metres out from Tigers' goal. A real good scoring position. Tigers have the numbers. One of them is Edwards. In they come. Wheatley uses his body. Handballs out in the open space. It'll favour Kemp. Ball bounces up nicely. Clever little handball to Quaife. Drives the ball long. Reece Edwards was there. Gets his player out of the position. Comes back to him. Snap on goal. Through for a minor score. Did everything right there, Reece Edwards. Just didn't complete the mark. White to bring the ball back in for Bridgetown. Player short. Davies. Been called to reload. White. Now he crosses the square. He's going to kick it long. Right in front of the commentary box. Starkey's there. McCamish couldn't take it on the first grab. Wheatley uses his body. Palms Starkey off. Drives the ball long. Wheatley will come back and get this. Bounces up nicely. Gets onto his left boot. Look down for Wilson. Front position. Takes chest mark. Plays on straight away. Hits the ground running in front of Edwards. Gets around 1-2. Goes inboard. The mark is taken by Craven. Now, I know we're only making fun of this, but that's twice the umpire's been involved. He could get a pair of Archies here, Rowett. He's doing well. So take Craven. He'll kick from 45 metres out. Slide angle. Been good today. Craven. Been called to play on. Kicks on its way. He's pulled that all the way through for a minor score. I'll have a chat to him about that after the game. Just tell him about his positioning. Ball's brought back into play to Jed Edwards. Goes wide to James Johnson. Gets onto his left boot. Finds Ryan Edwards far wing. Johnson runs past. Could give the handball. Goes longer. Looking there for Beggs. Been good when he's been on the ground. Spills to Johnson. Hard running by the youngster. Puts it up in front of Blake Johnson. Sits up nicely. Just allowed the Bridgetown opponent in Wilson to come in and affect the tackle. Ball to be thrown up. This time inside Tigers forward 50. 19.5 minutes gone in this third quarter. 42 points the margin. McCamish takes clean possession, then forgets to kick it. Had an airy. Spills out on the far side. Now it comes to Jesse Edwards. Gets onto his right boot. Looks for Starkey. Front position. Misses the mark. White's there. Nitschke's there. He doesn't need any opportunity. Plays it well to Nitschke. Ball close to the boundary line. Still in play. Comes back to Nitschke. Now Duncan helps him over the boundary line. Ball to be thrown in. 20 metres out from Tigers' goal. We've had it all today. Ruck work, bounces, nutmegs, and now windy. McCamish have to reload once again. Boundary umpire's doing a terrific job. McCamish front position wins it down. Beggs is there. Lets the ball go past Nitschke. This is his position. Nitschke fires. Misses. So let off. It's his bread and butter, Cooper Nitschke. Doesn't usually miss them. Just a little bit of pressure as he ran into that goal. It's obviously enough to put him off. Through for a minor score. Low to bring the ball back into play. He's going to go wide. He's looking for Doherty. Goes longer than him and finds Duncan. Mark not paid. Comes to Wheatley. Wheatley will come into the corridor. Find Davies. Davies takes the mark in front of Nitschke. Good kick from Davies. Finds Robinson. Right in the middle of the ground. Robinson finds Masters. Well away from the full forward line. Just puts it into open space. Hadley Edwards is first to it. Brett Wilson closes enough to affect the tackle. Ties the ball up. Umpire to throw the ball up 20 metres out from Bridgetown's goal. So end-to-end stuff from the home side. Tigers never touched it. Dangerous position now. One by Doherty. Over to Brett Wilson. Snap. On goal. Bounces into the square. Goes across the face. Dylan Edwards is first back. Gets it cleverly around Craven. Handballs on the far side of the ground to Ryan Edwards. Comes inboard and finds Blake Johnson. Middle of the round. Gets onto his left boot. Not his best kick. Carries the pack over towards Lowe. Bounces past him. In they come now. Jesse Edwards and Josh Soroka. Umpire to throw the ball up. Middle of the ground. Doherty to do the ruck work. Up against Jed Edwards. Jed Edwards wins it down. Spills over the back. Duncan's there. Spills out to Soroka. Trying to get himself involved. Tries to break the tackle. Couldn't do so. Now it comes back out to Mitchell. Mitchell by hand to Davies. Davies could give it back to Mitchell. Wields around a couple. Gets onto his right boot. Lands at the feet of McAlinden. Davies butters up. Second effort. Ball to be thrown up. Centre wing, far side of the ground. 41 points the margin. 23 minutes gone in this third quarter. As Edwards lays a tackle on Mitchell. Jesse Edwards, umpire to do it all over again. This time Jed Edwards wins it down. Comes to Mitchell. Free kick's been paid. Just as Hugh Mitchell was about to break the pack. And it's going to go the way of Nitschke. Let off. Been called to play on. Kicks around corners. Robinson will come over the top. Misses the mark. Spills to Starkey. Starkey goes to Reece Edwards. And they have Barnsby all on his own. Running from the wing. And Tyler Barnsby will kick from 35 metres out. Slight angle. Already had got one in the second quarter. Terrific kick. Just before half time. Tyler Barnsby doesn't waste any time. Kicks on its way. And through for a minor score. Probably should have taken a little bit more time there, Barnsby. Usually a very reliable kick in front of goal. The ball to be brought back in by White of Bridgetown. Has some short options. Uses one of them. And it's Wilson. Wardell Johnson. Now he's been called to play on. Nearly kicks into the man on the mark. High up and under. Asking a fair bit of Duncan. Does well there, the youngster. Gets tackled but manages to get the handball away. Back to White. Goes down the far side of the ground. It'll favour Kyle Wilson. Bounces through his legs. There's another one. Edwards is there. Ryan Edwards couldn't pick the ball up from Wilson's mistake. Now it's tied up. Far side of the ground. Ball to be thrown up. McCamish does the ruck work. Wins it down to Mitchell. Hit it ground running. Got wrapped up straight away from Beggs. Good tackle by the youngster. Big job for him if he's sitting on Mitchell, which he is. One down by McCamish. Comes towards Davies. Tackled once again by Beggs. Spills to Nitsky. Gets onto his left boot. Goes inboard. Finds Kemp. Kemp has Soroka. Middle of the ground. He can take this and go. He can have a bounce. Decides not to. Drives the ball long. In front is Ingle. And takes a good mark in front of Starkey. Runs himself into a bit of trouble. High up and under. Asks a lot of Craven. Marks missed by Barnsby. Comes back towards Craven. They have the numbers. Best be to tie it up. Comes to Craven. Over to Nutterdham. Just chucks it onto his boot. Comes to Nitsky. Wrapped up by Davies. Good tackle, Davies. Doesn't allow Nitsky to get away. Half forward line. Forward to centre, Tigers. Ball thrown up. Over the top comes Doherty. Wins it out towards Duncan. Takes his time kicking it. Manages to get his boot. The ball comes to Grant. Already with 3 goals to his name. Gives a handball to Mitchell. Ball's rushed over the boundary line. He's throwing in right in front of the Tigers interchange box. Be a terrific learning curve for Beggs playing on Mitchell. Doherty reaches over the top. Comes to Nitsky. Handballs to Kemp. Kemp can go back to Nitsky. Under pressure from Davies. Goes in the middle of the ground. Finds Edwards. Ryan Edwards. Comes back wide. Good kick. Finds a skipper in Reece Edwards. Still too far out to score. Starkey leads. Goes short. Nitsky can take it and go. Duncan stands the mark. Being called to play on. Goes short. Finds Kemp. And Kemp marks in front of Wheatley. Right on the 50. It'll take his best. Watch for Nitsky here. So Kemp has a lead now. It's Edwards. Goes that way. And Reece Edwards takes the mark. He'll kick from 45 metres out. 45-degree angle. Low stands the mark. Beautiful kick of the footy, the skipper for Tigers. Well, this will be right on the 3/4 time siren. So this could give them the spark they need in the last quarter. Third quarter's been disappointing. Reece Edwards. In he comes now. Crosses the 50. Plenty of support on the mark. Kicks on its way. It's a good-looking kick too from Edwards. Good kick. The skipper puts through one after the siren. And that margin back to 34 points. Terrific kick. We'll be back shortly with the last quarter as Tigers, well, they get one. They're up and about. They need to take that into the last quarter. 48-82, so 34 points the margin. Long quarter, 28 minutes with Reece Edwards, the skipper, kicking one after the siren. And we'll be back shortly with the last quarter from Bridgetown Recreational Oval.
Our name is derived from the Greek prefix, macro, large. From the day we were born, this has been a promise for the future. We have grown through dedication, sweat, self-denial, faithful to our mission of being on the side of those who put themselves on the line. Through our name, we celebrate the greatness of those who believe there are no obstacles higher than their dreams. The courage to get back up after falling. The obstinacy of believing until the end. These are the values embedded in our logo. The Macron Hero. It's a celebration of sacrifice and tenacity. Up until your personal victory, until your arms are in the sky. Become your own hero.
So welcome back to Bridgetown Recreational Ground. It was just about to get underway for the fourth quarter here, with a goal after the siren to the skipper, Reece Edwards, reducing that margin to 34 points. So they're close enough if they're good enough. They just need to get back-to-back goals early just to give themselves a chance. They've had some chances. Niski missed one. Edwards missed another one, the skipper. But 34 points the margin. It did get out to over 40 points, 48 points late stages of that third quarter. A couple of goals in favour of Tigers. The margin, 34 points. So we're underway. Last quarter, Jed Edwards up against McCamish. Edwards wins the ball down, comes to Mitchell, been outstanding today. Gets the handball back out to McCamish. McCamish goes wide. Now Wardell Johnson comes through. Couple of big strides, drives the ball long, inside 50. Brett Wilson's there, played predominantly down forward, has Hadley Edwards for company, spills out to Grant, got 3 goals to his name. And helped over the boundary line by Giles for Tigers. Ball to be thrown in just inside forward 50. A couple of early goals to Bridgetown will snuff out any chance of a Tigers comeback. Comes to Davies, wields around onto his left boot. Puts it to the top of the square. Barnsby's there. Mastered meets it. Comes out to Robinson. Gets around one. He'll settle on goal. The opening goal last quarter. Youngster Robinson makes no mistake from 30 metres out. He is a terrific young player. His first goal of the game and the opening goal of the last quarter goes the way of the home side. Kai Robinson. Kicked a bag of 6 or 7 not that long ago, school age. Not sure if he can still play Colts. I reckon he might be able to, but he is an outstanding player playing on the wing in the seniors. Gets himself on the scoreboard. Margin, 40 points. Ball back in the middle. Up they go. This time favours McCamish. Gets it out towards Davies. Davies is tackled straight away by Nitsky. Umpire, no prior, will come in, throw the ball up, right in the middle of the ground. Want to get down by McCamish towards Davies. He's tackled, illegal disposal, and James Johnson wins the free kick for Tigers. Being called to play on, gets onto his left boot, good kick, finds Ryan Edwards, half-forward line. No one stands the mark, can play on, gain a few metres, off one step, good kick, finds Starkey. Well, this will test him. 15 years ago, no problem. Not so sure now. He keeps presenting. Paul Spud Starkey. He'll kick from right on 50. If he gets this, they are right back in it. In he comes now. Long run up. Starkey kicks on its way. Hooked that off the boot. Distance, no problem. And through for a minor score. I didn't think that kick with Edwards was that good, but Starkey thought otherwise and marked it on his chest. Ball's brought back into play. Short kick finds Wardell Johnson. Goes even shorter. Finds White. So just maintaining possession. Hugs the boundary line. Finds Mitchell. Had a fair bit of the footy today. He goes short. Finds McAlinden. Like his game today. Marks in front of Quaife. Looks for Grant. Cutting in front of him is Barnsby. Tyler Barnsby. Goes to the open pocket. Looks for the skipper, Edwards. And Reece Edwards takes the mark. In front of Lowe. So a kick from right on 50, Reece Edwards. Terrific goal after the three-quarter time siren. The skipper. Can he get one back? Kicks on its way. Hangs out to the right. Starkey in good position. Takes a mark. So Starkey, good mark over White. 10 metres out. Kick on its way. Umpire signalled a goal. So Paul Starkey, he does get one back. Good overhead contested mark right on the point post. Banana kick, found the middle of the goal square. So he gets his second. And that margin back to what it was at three-quarter time. 33 points. So he just keeps presenting Paul Starkey. He's played the game long enough to get himself into a position where he can do those sort of things. The ball carried from Edwards, but Starkey took the mark right on the point post. And the banana kick found its way over the goal umpire's hat and through for a major. Ball back in the middle. McCamish wins it down, comes to himself. Can't pick the ball up off the ground. Gets Nitsky out of the way. Spills out the back towards Quaife, being quiet in his second half. Handballs into open space, picked up by Beggs. Beggs goes wide to Barnsby. Runs his full measure. Tackled as he kicked it. Edwards is there. Couldn't take the mark on the second grab. In comes Duncan. He's been terrific. Spills to Wardell Johnson. Tries to get the handball over to Mitchell. Robinson's there. Now Tigers have the numbers. Socket off the ground by Barnsby. He's going to have to go and get it once again. Comes out to Duncan. Handball high, up and under. Johnson's there. Gets the ball out to Nitsky. Gets onto his right boot. Puts it to the pocket in front of Brown. Sits up nicely. Allows him to take the ball, but sat up long enough. And he was tackled by Ingle. The ball to be thrown in. 35 metres out. 33 points the margin. Ball thrown in. Nitschke this time doing the ruck work. I don't think he's done that either. The ball's tied up as Duncan took the ball, wrapped up by Beggs. Umpire to do it all over again. One down by McCamish. Over the top come Barnsby. Spalls the ball down. Socket off the ground. Playing in front. Mark's taken. Goes inboard to Wheatley. Wheatley plays on, being a good player today. Wheatley looks down for Grant. Doesn't get the best of bounces, favours Giles. He'll handball out in front of Soroka. Does it sit for him? No, it doesn't. In comes Craven. Craven and Soroka. Craven lays a tackle, comes back to Giles, turns himself into trouble, but it spills out to Brown. Brown gets the handball to Kemp. Kemp will look down for Starkey. Starkey couldn't take the mark. It was uncontested. Couldn't take it on the second grab. Spills out to Beggs. Beggs gives it to Nitsky. Tries to break the tackle. Comes out to Kemp. Has time to settle. Shots on goal. It's going to go to the top of the square. Spoil comes. Comes to Brown. Snap. Goes under the player on the goal line. And through for a minor score. Under pressure. Lowe brings the ball back into play. Good kick. Wheatley puts one hand up. Now he runs himself into trouble. Gets around Edwards. Long searching handball. towards McAlinden. Doesn't sit for him. Ball goes out of bounds. Centre wing, members side. 32 points the margin. 7.5 minutes gone in this last quarter. Comes to Soroka. Gets a handball over to Johnson. His kick smothered by Davies. Davies gets a handball towards Mitchell. Taps it to his own advantage. Giles is there. Comes back to Mitchell. Spills out to Quaife, the big fella. Busts through a few. Gets it onto his right boot, but comes to Robinson. Tackled by Beggs. Manages to get the handball out to Duncan. Duncan's tackled straight away by Kemp. They win the free kick, middle of the ground. A little spark here for the visitors. Goes long. Starkey in best position. This time he says, I'll take a chest mark. He's 45 metres out from goal. Paul Starkey made the distance last time. It was just a little bit narrow off the boot. And this to get the margin under 30 points. In he comes now. Gets to 50. Couple of skips. Kicks on its way. Kicks on its way. Oh, won't we hear about that over a coffee? Paul Sputter Starkey kicks one from 50. So he gets the second for the visitors. He's third of the match. And that margin is now 26 points. Plenty of time left in this last quarter. 9 minutes gone. What a kick from Paul Starkey. Missed an easy overhead mark 30 seconds prior, but made up for it with a terrific chest mark and made absolute no mistake from range. Ball back in the middle. Doherty does the ruck work, wins it out towards Mitchell, comes out towards Davey. Davey tries to get the handball over to Robinson, wrapped up by Barnsby. Good tackle by says illegal disposal. Barnsby wins the free kick. Barnsby plays on, gives it to Nitsky. Nitsky drives the ball forward, looking for Edwards. Ball bounces over in front of his opponent. In comes Edwards, applies the pressure. Ball goes over the boundary line. That was low. Ball to be thrown in. So a goal here will make it very, very interesting with plenty of time to go. Be thrown in 30 metres out from Tigers' goal. What a lift they've had from the veteran. Snap on goal. Kemp marked on the goal line. Play on advantage. Jordan Ingle goes wide. Misses everything. The free kick will go the way of Thomas Quaife. Now, if you look at Quaife, he should put this right at the top of the square. He is a big unit. Goes long, does so. Dangerous spot. Starkey's there. Ball spills to ground. In they come. It's hot in the kitchen out there. Spills out the back. Kemp gets around 1, 2. Handball back to Beggs. Beggs has a player running through the middle. Barnsby misses his target. Big tackle. A free kick's been paid, and it's going to go the way of Duncan. Took a big tackle there, Duncan. Terrific youngster. Goes wide. Looks for Davies. Bounces up nicely. Then Davies falls over right at the inopportune time. In comes Wilson, Kyle Wilson, to lend support. He's wrapped up by Kemp. Ball to be thrown up. Centre wing, far side of the ground. 26 points the margin. And Tigers with a little bit of wind in their sails. Handball comes out towards Johnson. Gets onto his left boot. Looks for Starkey. Misses his target. Comes back out to Mitchell. He's been terrific all day. Gets onto his left boot looking for Grant. Grant takes a mark in front of Giles. Brodie Grant, 3 goals, first half. He was on fire. Decides to switch play. Goes wide. Duncan, sun got in his eyes. Now he puts himself under pressure as he's wrapped up by Beggs. A little bit of help there from Jesse Edwards. Right on the forward 50 for Tigers. Ball to be thrown up. Terrific game of footy. They go, 1 down. Ball still in dispute. Comes out to Kemp. Kemp gets it to Johnson. Gets onto his left boot. Going towards Starkey. Couldn't take the mark. Knocks the ball out. Handball can come over to Craven. Craven has a little bit of space. Looks down for Wilson. Good spoil by Edwards. It's Connor Edwards. Just as Kyle Wilson was about to take the mark, put his body on the line and affected the spoil. Ball to be thrown in right in front of the Bridgetown interchange box. Front position, Bridgetown comes out towards Doherty. It's high, up and under and wide. Out of bounds on the full. And they'll reload once again. And it'll go the way of Connor Edwards. Right on centre wing. Members side. Hugs the boundary. Looks down for Kemp. Kemp on the third grab. Takes the mark in front of Mitchell. Has Starkey leading for him. Good kick by Kemp. Terrific kick by Kemp. Just managed to get over the top of Ingles' head for Bridgetown. And it's that man again, Starkey. This is for the third goal for his team in the last quarter. His fourth for the game. This to reduce the margin to 20 points. Paul Spud Starkey. In he comes, 40 metres out, kicks on its way. Good kick, Starkey. Margin 20 points. And the veteran has his fourth. And he'll be telling everyone that wants to listen about this. He is willing his team home, Paul Spud Starkey. But how about the kick from Kemp? That was precision at its best. Starkey with the strong lead. And it carried over the top of Ingle, the defender for Bridgetown. Starkey had his own opponent in white right on his heels and took the chest mark. And that margin now, 20 points, 13-10 to 10 goals, 8. Edwards wins the ball down, comes towards Beggs, couldn't pick the ball up. Tackled by Davies, gets the handball over. Middle of the ground. They're up and about now. Tigers, they've got this margin to a spot where they can nearly steal this game. 14 and a half minutes gone. Edwards wins the ruck knockdown. Ball spills out in the tackle. In comes Edwards. Liddell Johnson's there. Comes to Kemp. Soroka. Soroka just chucks it onto his boot and it goes forward once again. Duncan spills out in the back towards the skipper. Comes towards Jesse Edwards. Fell over just as he handballed it. Comes to Brown. Good tackle. Spills out the back. In they come now. Tackle put on by Edwards. It was on Wardell Johnson. Umpire to throw the ball up 20 metres out from Tigers' goal. Over the top comes Reece Edwards. Wins the ball down. Nitsky's there. Another good tackle. We'll see another ball up. That was Brown on Mitchell. Can they get one here? Reduce that margin to 14 points. Reece Edwards been asked to do the ruck work. Comes towards Davies. And Kemp sees it over the boundary line. And this time there'll be a ball in. Still 35 metres out from Tigers' goal. Plenty of time left in this last quarter. Ball's going to land short. I'll have to reload. She's done a fine job, this boundary umpire. In front, Doherty wins it down. In front of Soroka. Does he keep it in boundary? Does so. Puts it back towards the top of the square. Kyle Wilson's there. Good mark, Wilson. That was his own teammate in Ingle. And Ingle's been hurt. So Jordan Ingle. And both kept their eye on the football. Kyle Wilson's taken the mark, but they've called for a stretch here. He's a good kid, Ingle, terrific footballer. He's obviously got some sort of leg injury, so it's not nice to see. It'll be a bit of a hold up in the game. Stretch has been called. Don't like to see this. But this kid can play. Friendly fire. And Ingle, he'll be helped. Everyone doing their best. Make sure he's okay. Both teams in their huddles. 20 points the margin. So there'll be a decent hold up for Geordie Ingle. So Paul Starkey has ignited the visitors with 3 last quarter goals, 3 goals to 1. And young Kai Robinson kicked the opening goal of the last quarter. And I thought that margin was unassailable, but 3 goals in a row to Starkey has reduced this margin to 20 points. There's Ingle, he's on the stretcher. You don't like to see this. It doesn't matter who you barrack for. So all the best to Jordan Ingle. He's a good kid. Let's hope that the recovery is quick. Just an innocent clash of 2 players with their eyes on the footy results in a nasty injury to Ingle. As he's helped off the ground, the players will now go back to their positions. 13 goals, 10, 88. To 10 goals, 8, 68. 20 points the margin. And Starkey with 4. 3 in the last. It's Kyle Wilson. Reloads. Goes wide. And goes to White. White will bring the ball back and goes to Lowe. Lowe, dangerous kick. It's going to find its target. And that target is Matt Wheatley. Wheatley will go back to Wilson. Now they're in the corridor. Wilson takes it, goes. Not his best looking kick. It's going to bounce into open territory. Favours Masters. Sits up for him. Comes out to Beggs. Been good today. Beggs gets a handball over to Barnsby. Puts his skates on. Not his best kick either, but it favours Jesse Edwards. Bounces up nicely. Gets around a couple of players. Comes back into the middle of the ground and finds Beggs. Beggs up and under. Finds Edwards. Push forward. Right at half forward. He'll have Starkey leading for him. Good kick. Starkey takes another one. Paul Starkey. He'll kick from 45 metres out. Doesn't waste any time. Close to the man on the mark. Real close. Kicks into his hands. That's White. Comes to Nitsky. Back to White. They're under pressure. Deep in the forward line. And as much as Starkey will talk about the 4 goals, I'll have to answer with that kick into the man on the mark. It's criminal. But he has been sensational as a target up forward. There's no need to rush. There's plenty of time left in this game. Most quarters have been going 28, 30 minutes. And with that hold up, it'll be a lot longer in this last one. Ball's thrown in. Spills out the back. Tackling's been good from both sides. As Jesse Edwards picks himself up, gives it over to the umpire, comes to Johnson. That was Doherty, wins it down to Davies. Handball back towards Davies, gets around one, just chucks it onto his boot. They look unsettled, Bridgetown. Ball in dispute, comes to Soroka. Will it sit up for him? Does so. He's tackled straight away by Grant. No Pryor. Centre wing, member side. Ball to be thrown up. Still 20 points the margin. Doherty wins it down once again. Favours Beggs. Tries to basketball it up. Cuts the handball out towards Soroka. Tackled. Managed to get his handball away. Davies comes in with the spoil. Comes out to the big fella, Quaife. Wrapped up by Wilson and McAlinden. Umpire to throw the ball up. Right in front of the Tigers interchange box. Doherty goes up. Wins the ball down towards Mitchell. Wilson gets in the way. Been taken high, but I think it was his own man. Comes to Connor Edwards. In comes Johnson. Back comes Kyle Wilson. Wraps up Kemp. So still 2 kicks out from Bridgetown's goal. Doherty wins it down again. Favours Kemp. Managed to get the ball onto his boot. It's going to cross the boundary line. Free kick will go the way of the Bulldogs. And it'll go the way of Max Wilson. Centre wing. Player short. Davies takes the mark in front of Kemp. Players running for him. Goes short. Looking for Mitchell. Takes the mark in front of Johnson. Wants to get onto his left foot. Wields around now. He'll put it just inside 50. Long and strong. Looks for Brett Wilson. Has Hadley Edwards with him. Spills back to Wilson. High up and under onto his left boot. Mark taken by Beggs in front of Robinson. Two fine young players for their sides. Hugs the boundary looking for Kemp, but Davies front position takes the mark in front of Kemp. And they'll reload once again. Goes short. McAlinden. McAlinden has Masters. Searching lead. Carries over the top of him. Nunanum's there. Affects the tackle, but it comes out to Kemp. Handball to Kemp was errant from Quaife. Lands in the arms of Johnson. Wrapped up by Grant and Davies. Ball to be thrown up. Half forward line. Still 20 points the margin. One down by Doherty, but straight to Nitsky. Just chucks it onto his boot. Cut off by White. Has a player wide in Wilson. Kyle Wilson takes the mark in front of Brown. Goes short. Wheatley. Centre wing. Members side. Matt Wheatley. Been good today. Can go back to where it come from. Wilson. So just maintaining possession. Still plenty of time. Hugs the boundary line. Carries over the back. Spills out. Comes to Wardell Johnson. He'll put it to the top of the square. Good mark. Masters. Favoured Masters that kick from Wardell Johnson. And this could really take the air out of Tigers' tyres. He'll kick from 10 metres out, 45-degree angle, Masters. Already with a couple of goals today so far. Presented all day. Will Masters. Just to get that margin out to 26 points. And he comes now. Shot on its way. No mistake. Will Masters. Goal number 3 for him. And that margin, 14 goals, 10, 94 to 10 goals, 8, 68. 26 points the margin. 23 and a half minutes gone in the last, but 4 or 5 minutes of hold up. The youngster, Geordie Ingle, with a nasty injury. Friendly fire. Both players keeping their eye on the ball. That's Kyle Wilson and Ingle. And Ingle come off second best. So terrific game of footy. These two teams could possibly meet in a few weeks' time. The ball's back in the middle. The McCamish up against Edwards. McCamish wins it down towards Davies. Wrapped up by Nitsky straight away. Umpire to do it all over again. Comes to McCamish. Tries to win it out. Now it does so. Just chucks it onto his boot. It's high, up, under. Big bounce in the middle of the ground. Comes back to the big fella, Quaife. Interesting handball to Giles. It's going to work out okay. Lands on the arms of Jed Edwards. Goes wide. Finds Connor Edwards. Goes through the middle of the ground. Looking for Reece Edwards. Misses his target. Spills out the back towards Mitchell. Handball to Duncan. Duncan to White. White will come back through the corridor looking for Brett Wilson. Pushed under the ball by Hadley Edwards. He's done well, the youngster. As Wilson comes back in and affects the tackle on Hadley Edwards. Ball to be thrown up. Forward 50. Bridgetown's way. 26 points the margin. Deep into this last quarter. McCamish wins it down. Comes over to Kyle Wilson. Top of the square. Favour Masters. Strong mark Masters. So Will Masters can go for back-to-back goals. It was a good mark. It's been a good duel between him and Dylan Edwards today. And this for goal number 4. Probably not his best season as far as quantity of goals, but he's a reliable target up forward, Masters. He'll kick 25 metres out, directly in front. In he comes now, couple of skips, shot on goal. No problem at all for Masters. He gets goal number 4. So 3 goals apiece in this last quarter. And that margin back out to 32 points. Pretty much where it started from at 3/4 time. Good strong mark from Masters, but that has been a sensational duel. Him and Dylan Edwards. It's been a really good game of footy. Played in really good spirit. And when teams are on, they can score quickly. Ball back in the middle. One down by McCamish, getting right on top in the middle of the ground. Spills out to Mitchell. Comes towards Robinson. It's Craven. Ball to be thrown up. McCamish just knocks it long and strong in the direction of Kyle Wilson. Manages to pick it up. Handball straight to Beggs. Goes out towards Barnsby, far side. Barnsby, good looking kick. Good mark too by Reece Edwards. Takes the mark in front of his eyes. He'll look for Starkey. Why wouldn't you? In comes Wheatley. Starkey, surely not. Snap, on goal, up, under. Behind. It's hard to tell with the goal umpire whether it's going through the middle or not. No disrespect. But Starkey has really wound back the clock today. It's like an FJ Holden. How many clicks you got on? He goes, 1,000 Ks. He's gone that far back. It was built in the 50s. Mark taken. McCamish been good in this last quarter. Not his best kick. Cut off by Kemp, centre wing. Kemp will come in board. Looks for Johnson. Been quiet today. Nearly tackled by Wilson. Wilson comes back in with a smother. High up and under. Comes towards Mitchell. Spills out to Beggs. Snap on goal by Beggs. This will bounce through from Beggs. The banana kick running the opposite way. And Kenny Beggs gets a goal. Might be too little too late, but he's been terrific today. Nearly played a full game of Colts footy. So 4-3 in favour of the visitors last quarter. And Kenny Beggs, well, he's had the big job on Mitchell second half, and he managed to get on the scoreboard. So well done, young man. Beggs, look forward to seeing what he can do with his league career. Margin, 25 points. There'll still be 4 or 5 minutes to go, we think, from that hold-up. No, Ruckman wins it down, comes back towards McCamish. Knocks it out towards Davies. In comes Nitschke, picks the ball up. Handball to Quaife, far side of the ground. Looks for Barnsby, puts him under pressure, but backs up. There's a big fella in Quaife. Bounces up nicely for him, chucks it onto his right boot. Lands on the chest of White, Cameron White. Far side of the ground. Goes short, finds Wilson, Kyle Wilson. Well, we don't have to worry about tats or anything with Kyle Wilson. We just look at the hairdo. We know it's him. Hugs the boundary, looking for brother Brett. And at his bootlaces, Brett Wilson takes the mark, plays on straight away, drives it inside 50, looks for Masters, didn't bend down far enough. Robinson's there, so is Grant, comes to Masters. Masters tries to give the handball over. Now it's in a real dangerous spot. In comes Edwards. Grant's there, tries to bullock his way through. He's wrapped up by Connor Edwards. Umpire to throw the ball up 40 metres out from Bridgetown's goal. One down, comes to Hadley Edwards, over to Nitschke. Nitschke gives the handball to Kemp, cleverly gets around Robinson. Now he gives the handball back to Hadley Edwards. Mucking around with it a little bit. Comes to Connor Edwards. He goes short and finds Beggs. Beggs goes inboard, finds the skipper in Reece Edwards. Go wide to Quaife. Runs himself into a little bit of trouble. Has time to steady. And a short kick finds Jed Edwards. Comes to the wing. And they're away now. Can take this and run is Connor Edwards. Does so. Goes down looking for that man, Starkey. It'll land right in front of him. Nice bounce for the veteran. Gets a handball over towards Jesse Edwards. How will it sit? Tries to get boot the ball. Couldn't do so. Wrapped up in a tackle. And there's a siren. So a terrific game of footy. 25 points the margin. 4-3 in that last quarter. 3 goals to Paul Spud Starkey in the last quarter, and 1 to the youngster Kenny Beggs. But 25 points is the final margin. 15 goals, 10, 100 to 11 goals, 8, 70, 11 goals, 9, 75. Terrific game of footy. Goal kickers, well, for the winners, Brodie Grant got 3. Kyle Wilson got 3 as well. Will Masters got 4, 2 in the last quarter. Took a couple of really strong contested marks. McAlinden with 1. Kiddenham with 1. That was a terrific goal. Brett Wilson with 2. And Robinson with 1. That was the opening goal of the last quarter. And for Tigers, Brown got 1. Nitsky got 2. Rakowski got 1. And Starkey got 4. Well, he was sensational up forward. 3 in the last quarter. Barnsby got 1. Reece Edwards got 1. And Beggs, the youngster who had the inevitable tasks of playing on Hugh Mitchell in the second half, got himself on the scoreboard with 1. In the earlier games, well, Tigers, they defeated an undermanned Bridgetown, 24 goals, 9, 153 to Bridgetown, 2 goals, 214, so 139 points the margin. In the reserves, Bridgetown turned that around, 11 goals, 5, 71 to 5 goals, 7, 37, 34 points the margin. And in the league, 15 goals, 10 Bridgetown to 11 goals, 9, 15 goals, 10, 100, 11 goals, 9, 75, 25 points the margin. Next week, we will be at Boyup Brook Oval with the clash between Boyup Brook and D Mill. D Mill at half-time were up by 12 goals, so that's a very important game for them if they want to make a couple of teams sweat in the top 4, that being Tigers and Imps, and they play each other next week, so that's another terrific game of footy. Kojonup take on Southerners. And we'll be back, next week from Boyup Brook Oval. A judge best on ground. We think Hugh Mitchell, for mine, he was terrific all day. In that first half, he had so much of the footy that it was not right for all the other players on the ground. Begg's done a great job, but he's still got enough of the footy to be the most important player on the ground. In the middle of the ground, Matt Wheatley was superb. Davies as well. Young Duncan looks a player down back. He was terrific. And for Tigers, well, Starkey, he was just outstanding, the veteran. He just wound back the clock, as we spoke about. They all played their part. Kenny Baggs, even though he did play on Mitchell, was terrific. Hadley Edwards done a really good job on Brett Wilson down back, really nullified his influence, especially in front of goal. Tyler Barnsby done some good things, but they were terrific. Kemp and Nitsky always do their best. We'll see you next week. Boyup Brook Oval, best on ground, Hugh Mitchell, the Archie Thongs. We thank all our sponsor, Row It on the camera. We will see you from Boyup Brook Recreational Ground for the clash between Boyup and D Mill next week.
The relationship with Great Southern Fuel started with my father 50 years ago, delivering fuel in drums back in the day, which has progressed into large tanks now. They've been very reliable and efficient on time with service.
We run a mixed farming operation here on Chapman Valley, just north of Geraldton, managing about 5,500 hectares. We've been with what is now Great Southern Fuels for in excess of 20 years. There's always challenges and situations that catch you out, and they've been really, really good at accommodating that for us.
We've been with Great Southern for 28 years now. Look, they've given us exceptional service and they're price competitive, so it's wonderful.
They're a great company to work for. They're a family-owned business. They will support you and whatever is required.
I've got Alan's phone number, I've got Steve's phone number, and I know if I ring it I'll get an answer, which is really cool.
The relationship's great and the service is second to none. So I ring up and it doesn't matter if it's Saturday, Sunday or whenever I ring up, I'll have fuel. So we've never been held up or had a problem with them. So my theory is that's what I'm about. It's about service and the relationship, and it's been fantastic.
It's very important to maintain long-term customers' loyalty and give back what you can when you can.
Great Southern Fuels is one of the few companies that I've been involved with that gives so much back to the local community. We support so many different organisations and country, sporting clubs, field days, farming organisations.
We endeavour to give back. The community looked after us by dealing with us, and we just gave it back in what we could do. Footy club needs a hand, well, it's because they need a hand that you give it to, not the other way around.
When you look at how they conduct themselves in the community, they've been a great supporter of the Livestock Transporters Association. Just incredible what they do.
I do a lot for the community, which is good. And not only Lake Race either, it's right where all his outlets are all over the state. He's been excellent with that.
We tend to sponsor major events, the Great Southern Football Carnival, Colt Carnival.
Across the board, I think sponsorships are a very important part of any community. I grew up in Lake Grace and footy was my life down there for a long time. Great Southern sponsored Lake Grace back then, and along with many other footy clubs and hockey clubs and tennis clubs. And we might not always be making a big deal out of it, but the people that get sponsored, they understand and they relate to it.
They do a lot for the town, so yeah, I can't fault them. You know, they've been brilliant.
Great Southern Fuels have got strong values, and that shows in what they do. You know, they walk the talk and they do what they do.
You deal with people that are there and care about your business, and these people have been absolutely wonderful.
I'm very proud of what Mum and Dad have achieved in their life and how they've structured the business, and it's all structured around our customers and looking after people and being in the right areas where we need to sell the fuel and have the support there and sponsorship, being part of the community, even though we're not in that community, but our workers are there and that's part of us.
Our name is derived from the Greek prefix, macro, large. From the day we were born, this has been a promise for the future. We have grown through dedication, sweat, self-denial, faithful to our mission of being on the side of those who put themselves on the line. Through our name, we celebrate the greatness of those who believe there are no obstacles higher than their dreams. The courage to get back up after falling. The obstinacy of believing until the end. These are the values embedded in our logo. The Macron Hero. It's a celebration of sacrifice and tenacity. Up until your personal victory, until your arms are in the sky. Become your own hero.